So Jason Nedved here again with Keith. We're going to be talking about the muzzle brake that came out with.
So we've got the MDT competition muzzle brake here. This is self-timing brake. Has the ability to slide an underplate underneath here to change the amount of downforce you have. The one cool feature with our particular brake is we have these holes offsets. So as you drop something, the angle of that gas comes out at an angle approximately like this between the internal and external deal. So the flight time, say of your shot, maybe 1.5 seconds.
Yep.
Well, you want to see that bullet hit where it hits. Well, if all your gases come straight up in front of your optic, you're not going to see through that, especially on a cold or high humidity day.
Yeah.
So with the gases being deflected out either side, you should still have a clear sight path all the way through with the smoke and the disruption on either side. Another cool feature is our forks are progressively faster forward. So the first port's fairly straight. The second port is slightly angled back and it progressively gets worse. If we're creating a bubble with this first port, your muzzle will actually come in with a standard tenon just flush to the inside so we don't have carbon buildup and we don't have the air pushing down a channel. The first blast wave will go straight evenly to each side, and then it'll start to come back. And we have that laminar flow of air already. So now as each of those more aggressive ports start to hit that laminar flow and they get pushed in a bubble out around the shooter.
Oh, perfect.
The other cool feature we have here is this forward-facing port. And we're the only one that has this that I know of. And what this does is after that first straight port, as this next gas starts to come back at an angle, it creates a mushrooming effect and disrupts that gas out away from the shooter to push that out and away.
That's awesome.
So we do different boring on the inside on each individual port. So each port is equally efficient or as close to it as possible. And then the coolest feature to it is, like with a standard 60-degree thread that locks that they would go through and lock a ring, basically a thread will clamp on one side or it'll clamp on the other side.
Yep.
So if you come out of a barricade or drop your rifle and your muzzle hits, well, you can change where that sits on the end of the muzzle. And if you have a little bit of carbon buildup, all of a sudden you could get a strike.
Yep.
Well, we went to the oil and gas industry and found a deep drilling thread. It's a square-sided.
Okay.
And that's what we put in the back here. And we found that by putting it on when we lock it in, that it locks in square, and as you hit it, you don't get that run out one side to another, which you would get with a standard thread.
Yeah.
So a lot of technology put into it. Really incredible. On the shooter, we haven't found a 4-port brake that is as efficient as it yet.
Yeah.
We've tested.
Yep.
And what I can see as a shooter, and at least what my perception is a lot less, because I'm not getting that slap. It's getting pushed out around me.
Yep.
And even if there was something it's equal to not having that pressure, really makes it feel like he's half free in it.
Yeah, and I like that you guys did that video. I think it was Ryan that did that video on how many ports. Well,
yes.
In there you actually need. That was another good video on MDT's YouTube, because they experimented even with the number of ports, how many would be the best optimal for the recoil reduction. So that was cool too, watching that.
Yeah, it's an incredible muzzle brake.
Yeah. Have to get some, and obviously available on our store and their store also, but we'll get some in and try them out. That'd be great.
All right, awesome.